Welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. In this video, we'll talk about some of the do's and don'ts for managing your unit inventory. When you start the game, you only have a limited number of unit slots. If you exceed your slots, you're not able to play until you're within your limit again. One of the common mistakes you'll want to avoid is to fuse the wrong units to each other in order to free up more inventory space. So here are a few tips that I recommend. Tip number 1 is to never sell any of your 5-star base units. You don't want to sell these because they're extremely rare. Most of the time, they will also usually be the strongest characters you have in the game, and also have the strongest, what we call Trust Master rewards. It might not be obvious how strong they are until you've leveled up these characters, but you should always save them, and it is okay to have duplicates of these. These are the units that appear as a rainbow crystal when you summon them, and you can also tell they're a 5-star base because of the blue-green color of the platform that their sprite is standing on. This platform color will change as you level them up, but they always start with this blue-green color. And you can also tell by looking at the number of stars that appear by their name. Tip number 2 is to save at least one of every unit. As a newer player, you're still learning what each unit is capable of, and you don't want to get rid of a unit, then discover later that it is useful after all. This happens more often than you think. While we're on this subject, I highly recommend that you lock your units, and you can do that by tapping on this little lock icon here. That will help prevent you from accidentally selling or fusing a unit. Tip number 3 is to expand your slots, and you can do this by either using expansion vouchers, which are obtained through login rewards, or by spending lapis. I've actually hit my maximum for unit slots, so I'm going to go to somewhere else here, just so you can see what the screen looks like. Now here you can either select the expansion voucher or spend lapis. So this actually will be one of your better investments. As a longtime community member, I've seen players who say they regret fusing this or selling that, but I never see people who say they regret spending lapis to expand their slots. This is something that would be useful to you in the long term. Now there are a few other useful tips. You can actually fuse some of the enhancement units to each other, and this would be the pots, or trust moogles, or even these cactuars here. And you can fuse them to save space, but also be mindful of the enhancement limits. For example, don't fuse a bigger pot into a smaller pot. You can see that that's saved us a spot here. And then also sell your gill snappers to get some gill, and that will also free up more spots. Alright, that's it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more helpful advice.